to End of the Road News. Today, we're going to be talking about something very serious. Very, very, very serious. Well, we're going to talk about several serious, very serious things. First thing we're going to talk about is the government is now, and when I say government, I mean the legislative body is now moving towards pushing an Israel support bill that stops anti-Semitism. And, I think we've talked about this plenty on the show about anti-Semitism. What is anti-Semitism? No one really knows. It's really an excuse to just shut down free speech, in my opinion, here in America, because, they want us to pick a side between Israel and Palestine. What about Palestinian Semites or Jews? And, this is pretty much ridiculous. They're getting their tentacles and everything internationally. Overnight, there was an attack by Iran that did destroy some part of a southern base in Israel. The United States and Israel downed almost every single rocket, missile, and drone. Iran said that this concludes their attack. This is really weird, considering that Israel bombed them first, kind of thing. Iran may have attacked first prior to that. We know that Iran moved those proxies to start this Israel-Hamas war on the Gaza. But now, America's right there. In fact, they're in the middle between them and defending, what they say is defending Israel. So, Congress is now defending Israel through an anti-Semitism bill, strengthening our protections towards Israel. What about anti-Palestinian sentiment? What about anti-Iranian? What about anti-Muslim sentiment? This is obviously taking one side of it into account, maybe for good reason. I'm not going to sit here and hash it all out for everybody. But we're here in America. We're actually anti-First Amendment. Recently, there's been a lot of weird stuff. We had a Christian pastor double down and say all sorts of stuff about Supreme Court Justice Brown or Jackson, and he said all sorts of silly things. Some of it should be, laughed at because of how ignorant it is. But he's got a point. He has a First Amendment protection to say and believe those things. He said some racist stuff about monkey stuff, and it's pretty silly. But anyways, in other news, there was an attack from the left geared towards The Rock. I forgot his name, Johnson, I think. And the wrestler and the XFL guy. He is being attacked by the left for using the W word. I think you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, it's a term that I guess is now being adopted and co-opted by the white supremacist movements that are undertow here in the United States, if they even exist. And he used it over and over. And the word, I don't know if I should say it, but I think I will, is woke. Woke, not whitey, none of that stuff. It's woke. Woke is now a white supremacist word, and The Rock used it to explain that he's not backing Joe Biden yet, this term, or maybe not at all. So he did in 2020, but he's not doing that, so he's being attacked for using the word woke. Obviously, that makes him not black enough. And then they went on to say that he is or was, when he first arrived on the scene, being famous, a Nation of Islam guy who believes all sorts of things. I don't know exactly what he believes. But apparently, I talked about what Nation of Islam believes. And here's one of them, what the Muslims believe. This is the Muslim program out of Louis Farrakhan's The Final Call magazine. It's on the back of every issue. Point 12. We believe that Allah God appeared in the person of Master W. Fard Muhammad, July 1930, the long-awaited Messiah of the Christians and the Mahdi of the Muslims. We believe further than lastly that Allah is God, and beside him there is no God. And he will bring about a universal government of peace, wherein we can all live in peace together. But before that, they say, we believe this is the time in history for the separation of the so-called Negroes and the so-called white Americans. We believe the black man should be freed in name as well as in fact. By this we mean that he should be freed from the names imposed upon him by his former slave masters, names which we identified him as being the slave master's slave. We believe that if we are free indeed, we should go into our own people's name, the black peoples of the earth. So, those things are kind of, contradictory. But more interesting is they believe that Allah God appeared in the person of Master W. Fard Muhammad, who happens to not be black, and they call him Master. It's kind of weird because he's a white. Anyway, so you have a right to believe whatever you want here in America. Unless you're me, then you can't even defend yourself in your civil or criminal case. And there's a lot of weird things going on with all that. But yeah, I can't really defend myself, or even, they don't let me, and they're actually threatening to charge me with more stuff or use these recordings against me in court. So, I risk a lot to do this stuff and get these information bits out, but they're not going to use any of it. They're just going to use things to say, oh yeah, well, I was in the Capitol, and, they're going to do that crap. And they're going to stop at nothing to take things out of context or lie, saying I said there was a bomb in my van when there wasn't. And I never said that. And anyways, America is pretty weak, I think. Pretty weak when we show all this strength with our military to knock out the rockets, and we can't really defend anything but Israel when they attack another country, and then we have to defend the country because, what if we did that with Ukraine? When people set foot on their soil or even outside and said, okay, we're going to shoot down rockets so that they can't attack Ukraine. They think Russia would handle that. And did it take that? I mean, it's pretty weak that Iran is pretty much doing everything that they're doing and then saying, okay, we're done attacking you. That was it. This doesn't end things between us, though. It's just ramping up. Okay, so keep things in mind because there's a lot going on, and it's really strange that you can. I don't know. I don't even know what we can do anymore. I mean, if I can sit in the cell and rot and not be able to prepare for my cases, all the while I haven't seen or talked to my lawyer in months, and I'm unable to talk to an investigator, and I'm unable to review my case, and time just keeps ticking down. What's going on? Are these people even really defending me? It doesn't seem that way when you're in court. You can see that actually looks like they're hurting my case, my chances of actually winning in every single thing. So I don't know what we can do in America anymore other than sit here and twiddle our thumbs. Jaden was talking about World War III, eve of World War III now, and thinks it's funny, I guess. But I don't know if we can believe whatever we want anymore. I don't know if we can even fight for anything anymore. Peace, justice, whatever. Words mean things, but sometimes it don't. And it's really sad. We can't use law enforcement to enforce laws, and the ones that do. I mean, people are getting away with all sorts of shit nowadays, and
you have 1 minute remaining.
you're supposed to sit here and figure out what's actually real, and everything about January 6th seems to not be real, and this war with Israel and Iran seems to be, because it's a war now. Or beyond conflict if people are flinging missiles at each other. It doesn't seem very real either. Congress, everything they do doesn't seem very real. It's just as fake as wrestling, like The Rock. Is he even real? Is he even real? It's just a character in a play, scripted. Anything real? Am I real? Are you real? What's real about it? What's real about anything? Is our belief system even real to me?
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.